Hey everyone, hello and welcome in. No video last week, so we have a lot to get caught up on this week as the Minnesota Vikings continue to roll through the regular season, now standing at 7-1, a dominating lead in the NFC North Division, and we will ride into Buffalo with more confidence in this team that I've seen since probably 2009. This is a really fun year. 2017 was fun. This is something different. This is something different that I can't believe that we're witnessing. The level of confidence that these guys have in each other, the atmosphere and culture that Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah have been able to build in such a short amount of time, with literally the almost same group of players who last year looked miserable as fuck, if I could put it that way. I don't want to slander Mike Zimmer on this channel any more than I already have. I think that he's still a good football coach, but this year's just different. It's just absolutely different. So let's get caught up on what I missed last week, and that was the TJ Hawkinson trade. We'll touch on that for 1 minute. Yes, I know it was a great trade. It turned out to be. So last week, you probably remember me talking about trade scenarios for the Minnesota Vikings and what I think they needed to do, or what I thought they needed to do in order to achieve the next step. And that is to become serious contenders for the Super Bowl, which, by the way, quick aside, are we calling this a legitimate 7-1 team? Is that a thing now? Because based on strength of schedule and who we've played, I know we've played a myriad of backup quarterbacks and things of the sort, but I think that this team has to be considered legitimate. I really, just based on everything else that's in the NFC right now, I don't know how you could call this team anything short of legitimate. So that's just my 2 cents on that. Anyway, so I had mentioned last week that I felt that wide receiver was more of a pressing need, and I specifically called out Brandon Cooks, who was allegedly on the trading block, but is now still stuck in Houston for what reason, I don't know. So I thought maybe getting Brandon Cooks would be the smartest move that they can make, because I think it needs to be said that Adam Thielen is a shell of his former self. His rapid decline this year surprises me, but it also worries me. KJ Osborne, I'm not sure what he brings to the table that maybe Jalen Reagor doesn't. I felt we could have used some depth at the pass catching position. And in some sort of monkey paw curl twist, the Vikings actually sort of listened to that advice. And they went out and they got one of the better pass-catching tight ends in the league in TJ Hawkinson. Now, he's not going to be a Mark Andrews or Travis Kelce type of, situation for us, but this is a huge improvement over Irv Smith Jr., who I've been waiting to break out for so many years now, and it's just not going to happen. I think the book is closed on Irv Smith Jr. He'll go play somewhere else next year and get a shot at a starting job. We're going to keep TJ Hawkinson. As far as trade compensation goes, I don't really care about what the draft picks were that we gave up, because effectively, based on the trade value charts that I saw, I think we gave up overall like the 69th overall pick for TJ Hawkinson. I know it was a good trade. So I'm fine with that 100%. So the compensation doesn't bother me in the least. I mean, if we're going all in, which I think the Vikings are doing this year, fuck them picks, right? Who gives a shit about draft picks in 2024 and 2023 when we are trying to win this thing right now? Because the opportunity couldn't be more available for this team. The NFC North is down bad other than the Vikings. The Packers, they're a joke. They're a joke this year. The Bears aren't good. The Lions aren't good. The Packers, wow, what a joke. Now, they sustained some heavy losses in the injury department this past week in their loss to the Lions, who were 1-6 at that point, by the way. And I just don't see the Packers doing anything meaningful for the rest of the season with 6 losses already on their record. At 7-1, the Vikings have a clear path to the NFC North Championship, having beaten all of their divisional opponents once already. So I know it's an exciting time to be a Vikings fan. This kid over here couldn't be more fired up for this rest of the Viking season. So the TJ Hawkinson trade, if I could just put a final note on this, I had mentioned last week in the video that if the Vikings were to win a Super Bowl, we would look back on the regular season and point to the Brandon Cooks trade as that was the moment where things changed, and that led them to a Super Bowl. I still believe that, just now with TJ Hawkinson. I think that I was against getting somebody for the tight end position. I didn't think we needed an upgrade, and then Irv Smith Jr. injury happened, and then that was kind of forced upon us. And it's funny because we went from last year making the worst midseason trade for a tight end we possibly could have with a 4th-round pick for Chris Herndon, who did absolutely nothing, and it was a terrible trade, and I can't believe people still defended it. And then this year we make one of the better trades for a tight end, getting TJ Hawkinson from within the division, which, by the way, we need to close the book on having some sort of, what do you call it, like an aghast or hesitation to trading within the division. Just go get players. Go get good players. It doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter. If it ends up stabbing you or like coming back to haunt you later so be it. You're doing it for right now. You're doing it for this year. That's what matters most. And honestly, I don't care about giving up draft picks to the Detroit Lions, because what good are they going to do with them? And I'm sorry, Lions fans, you absolutely 100% deserve better. It is what it is. So I think that if the Vikings make it to the NFC Championship, the Super Bowl, or heaven forbid they win it, which would be amazing, I think they will look back to this past week where TJ Hawkinson was acquired via trade, and he actually was very active and participated in the first game, which a lot of people didn't think it would be possible. He'd have to learn quite a bit before he could be fully integrated into the offense. But Kevin O'Connell spoke highly of him as a fast learner and was himself surprised he was able to accomplish as much as he could in such a short amount of time. Now, all of that is out of the way. Next on the docket is the Buffalo Bills. Very concerning matchup because this has been heralded as one of the best teams in the league for a number of years and one of the odds-on favorites to win the Super Bowl coming out of the AFC. Here's my opinion. Whether or not Josh Allen plays, because right now he's going through this whole thing with a UCL injury on his throwing hand, suffered in the final drive against the Jets. By the way, Jets, man, they look legit. Case Keenum could potentially be the quarterback for this team come Sunday, and we're facing off against Stephon Diggs, and it just adds another layer to the season, which has just been so dramatic. I don't think the result in Buffalo matters as much as the rest of the season, especially against NFC opponents, namely the Dallas Cowboys. And here's why. Because while I would like to win the game for, a myriad of reasons, mostly I'd like to win the game just to continue to climb and assert ourselves as the potential number 1 or number 2 seed. I think Philadelphia at some point has to stumble. So right now you're fighting to get as many home playoff games as you can with a 7-1 record. But if we lose, I'm not that all upset because A, it's a Super Bowl contender team that you're losing to on the road in their stadium. Bills Mafia is a different animal. They are one of the greatest fan bases that are out there with flying through tables and all the stuff that they do. I won't be that upset if we lose. If we get absolutely waffle stomped, maybe that raises some questions. But if they can at least keep it, a 1 or 2 score game, I won't be that upset. That's just the way that it is, because the next time you face them is going to be the Super Bowl. I'm more worried about the Cowboys, the Giants, and the rest of the NFC teams that we got to play. Not maybe so much within the division. There could be a revenge game or 2 here for the Bears, Lions, or Packers. Who knows? But I think we need to be more focused on NFC teams, and while still wanting to win against the Bills, because that would be a statement. That would be the statement of statements that the Minnesota Vikings could make in 2022. Would be to take down the Bills, Josh Allen or not. Even if Josh Allen doesn't play and we win, that doesn't make it any more fraudulent. I have been saying for weeks that this team might be fraudulent because of the people that we played, but I am sort of going to walk that back after having listened to other people sort of describe it as, the truth of the situation. And the reality is you can only play who is on the schedule, and that's what we're faced with. So those are my thoughts heading into the week against the Buffalo Bills. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.